everyone, Christine here. This is my channel, Christine Sews a Lot. Today I'm coming to you to talk about a sewing channel that is taking over YouTube and Instagram, and that is hashtag SewFrugal22. This challenge is being run by Sam of Frugalissima and Ruan of the Yorkshire Sew Girl. This is a really simple challenge. 1, you must use a free pattern. Now this pattern needs to be a garment pattern for a person and free to anybody. So not one that you were gifted, didn't come in a sewing magazine free. It has to be free and available to anybody. 2, you must use fabric from your stash. And if you don't keep a stash of fabric, you could also use something you have around the house, like a tablecloth, curtains, bed sheet, duvet cover. Then it must be sewn in the month of March. No cheating, no starting early, and it has to be finished by March 31st. Then on March 31st, and not before, you post your finished garment to Instagram using the hashtag SewFrugal22, and you tag Ruan at the Yorkshire Sew Girl and Sam at Frugalissima. Now I am going to link everything and everyone I talk about today down in the box below. There are over 70 sewing YouTubers who are helping to promote this challenge. There will be 2 vlogs a day where they talk about the challenge and some ideas to give you some inspiration. And there's a large variety of people and tastes, so I'm sure you can find some inspiration from one of the vloggers. Today is my day to vlog, and also Rachel from Stitched Up. Yesterday we heard from Karina of Lifting Pins and Needles and Emily of Ready, Steady, Sew Emily. Tomorrow it will be Karen of So Little Time and the Stitchy Wife. So if you want to see other people's ideas, you can look and search in the YouTube search bar and search for hashtag SewFrugal22. Now before I get into the patterns that I'm looking at to decide what I will sew, I want to remind you that today is the last day to enter for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway celebration, and I'm going to link in the cards above and below the video that gives all the rules and how to enter for this drawing of a €40 gift card to Beyond the Pink Door. So let's get into what am I thinking of making. The first pattern that I know I will sew, and I will say all of these patterns I know I'm going to sew, I just don't know what I will be sewing in March for this entry. Don't have a ton of time with the house selling moving thing, but there will be at least one from me. So Peppermint Magazine is a magazine with loads of free patterns, and they have the Paddington top by French Navy. I have just loved all of the tops I've seen on Instagram, and Michelle from Sewing Bunny just recently posted a sewing tutorial, and I will link her tutorial down in the description box below. So the size range goes from a bust of 32 inches to 57 1/8, and hip a 34 1/4 inch to 60 5/8 inch, and there's a 5-inch ease, so it's a pretty generous pattern. Now this is a cropped boxy top, and I've seen several people have lengthened the top, and I think I'm going to choose to do that when I sew it up. I don't want to show any skin, or I think I'm going to want to tuck it in. So I have a stack of fabric of potential Paddingtons here, and I have chosen all these fabrics are rayons because I think I would like a more flowy top, something that isn't going to have as much structure. If I were to do it in a cotton lawn or a linen, it would have more structure and be a little poofy and stick out a little more. And with all that volume and ease, I want to drape. So I've got this green here. The first two I'm going to show you are solids. I do need to add some more solid tops to my wardrobe, and I want something of color. I found I have way too much gray. So we have some color and some solids add to my top. So this is one I'm considering. Now the pattern does button up the back, but from what I've heard from the many people who have already sewn this up is you can slip it right on over your head. So you can just sew the buttons on directly, no need for buttonholes, which just makes it all the quicker. So that's one choice. And this dark green, I love this color. So this is another color. Again, another plain, solid for the Paddington. I love the sleeves on this top too. I love the poofiness. I just don't want them to dominate me or make me look like I've got on big old shoulder pads. And this is another choice here. This is a rifle paper fabric. Again, it's rayon. Beautiful drape. This is an Alice in Wonderland theme print. And I've pulled this out and talked about it with many different patterns. And I really just need to sew it up and not keep it as precious. It is so soft. And all of these have been folded up tightly in a box. And this, you'll notice, really, where are the wrinkles? Where, pray tell, are the wrinkles? So this is a beautiful fabric. So that's the Paddington top, Peppermint Magazine. Again, all of the links to get the patterns will be down below. And this I am having printed out. It's A0, or you can letter size print and print it at home. The next free pattern that I'm considering for Sew Frugal 22 is from the fabricstore.com. Again, another place with loads of free patterns, and they tend to have a lot of size inclusive patterns. So my choice is the Paola Jacket. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It is a boxy button-up front jacket with patch pockets, and the size range is bust 33 to 56, hips 35 to 58. And again, this is another pattern with a great deal of ease. I'm going to be paying attention to the finished garment size when I sew this up. Now this, unfortunately, is a print at home with loads and loads of pieces of paper. And normally I give those types of patterns a hard pass. I do not enjoy taping together patterns and cutting them out. But this has caught my eye so much, I have already printed it out, and I'm waiting for some downtime when I know I'm not going to be showing the house. It'll probably be a late evening activity. I'm going to go ahead and tape it together. It is quick and fast to sew up from what I've read, and it's an easy sew, and there's some flat felt seams and other details. So I think it would be a nice sew. So let me show you what I would like to make this up in. This is a Brussels washed linen. I would call it mid-weight. It's a little coarser than most of the linen I use, and I think it would make a great jacket. And I think it would give a pop of color. I definitely need some more color. So yeah, this is what I'm thinking of doing. I have some jeans buttons that I can insert with my cam press and patch pockets. I think that would be really cool. And I think I would use a dark red, maroonish red top stitch thread to top stitch it down. So that, without a doubt, I know I want to make in this fabric if I make it for the challenge. So that's the Paola Jacket, fabricstore.com. The next two patterns I'm going to show you are t-shirt patterns. One I have already sewn up, and the other I have longed for. and just recently realized that it is in my size range. So I'm going to be sewing that up. So the first t-shirt I want to talk about is from Greenstyle Creations. It's the green tee. It goes from a bust 30 to 61 inches, hips 32 to 62 inches. There are 3 different necklines. There's the rounded crew neckline, a scoop neckline, and a V neckline. And this is one I have sewn. This was one of my earlier knit makes on the serger. When I made this, of course, I pre-washed my fabric, but the fabric was not the best quality, and oh my goodness, did it shrink after I sewed it. So the length that I took out to get a good fit, I don't want to have the big lumps and bumps where you tuck your shirt in and it's just too long, it bunches up inside your pants or skirt. So I had shortened it a good bit, but then after washing it a couple of times, it comes up a little bit cropped. But this is my green tee. You can see where it comes. So I can still tuck it in, but it likes to come untucked. So I typically only wear this when I go to the beach. It seems like this is the one I reach for the most. And ironically, the one that I'm saving for doing yard work and going to the beach is the top I probably get the most compliments on. And I think it's definitely the fabric choice more so than my sewing skills on this top or how it fits. It's just really cute, this cat foam. Let me see if you can see it. Put it up close. So I think people identify with that little novelty print. All the cat people come out when I wear this. So this version I did a scooped neck, and I don't know if you can tell, but I wasn't paying attention. I think I got a little seam right here in the front instead of in the back. I was probably sewing really late, and then when I zipped it on with the serger, it was like too late, gonna go with it. So that's the green tee. I loved the fit, and I need some more t-shirts that are made out of nice fabric. I like homemade t-shirts, or handmade I should say, because better quality, better fit than the ready to wear. So the other t-shirt that I alluded to is the Mandy bow tee. I didn't think that it came in my size, but it does. The Mandy bow tee goes from a bust of 32 to 45 and a half, hips, I think 36, and they wrote in centimeters, 126 centimeters. I think that's around a 49, 50 hip, but where the t-shirt ends, it's a little bit higher on the hip, so it's not going over the fullest part of your hip. So I would encourage you, if you're on the edge like I am, that you take a look at your measurements and where the hip is going to hit before you decide it doesn't fit you. So let me show you just 2 of the fabrics I'm considering for the t-shirts. I have a lot of knit fabric. Most of it is in my parents' basement because I've already moved. We're moving to my hometown, and I've already moved several tubs of fabric to my parents' basement so that the house would show better and not look like a sewing factory. To me, that would be an incredible selling point, but maybe not to the general public. So I only have 2 to show you, but I have some more at my parents' house, and I will definitely be going there again this month, so there may be some surprise fabric coming out. So one of the choices is this red and white stripe, and I love this dark red. This shade of red is a good color for me, the dark red that has more of the blue tone than the orange tone. And the Mandy bow tee has a really interesting sleeve, and I think it would be great to have the stripes going across this way and then the stripes going this way. I think that's a really great look. And I have plenty of this fabric. Then the other fabric I have is this gorgeous art gallery fabric. Now this is a fabric that I have looked longingly at for more than a year before I purchased it. Now these colors are not good colors for me. So I did not purchase this with making something for me in mind. I just wanted to work with it. Have you ever had that? A fabric where it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. I know it's not for me, but I want it, and you get it. So my niece just recently became a foster mother, and it's gonna be a long-term foster, we think. And she has a daughter, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to make mommy and me type t-shirts, make them little matching t-shirts. And I have plenty of this to do that. So I think that's gonna happen. And that would be nice in the Mandy boat tee, and they could wear it on Mother's Day in May. I love to sew for my grandchildren and my nieces and nephews and other small people in my life. So I wanted to show you some children's patterns that are free that I'm excited enough to sew up. The first free children's pattern is one that is very popular. It's Patterns for Pirates Petite Pegs. It's a little legging pattern, and I have made this pattern several times for leggings for my granddaughter. And this is a great scrap buster. You know, when you have those odd shaped pieces of fabric that are kind of large, but not large enough to do something for an adult, this is the project for it. So I have this Michael Miller fabric. It's a cotton jersey. I made myself a sew over it Audrey top out of this. And I love this jersey. It's a really nice quality jersey. It's vibrant, it's fun, and it's an odd shaped leftover piece. This is perfect for the petite pegs. I can get a couple pairs out of these long scraps. One of my favorite sewing pattern companies for girls is Violette Field Threads. They are modern vintage style. It's kind of how they describe themselves. And I have sewn many dresses. An amazing number for a woman who just recently had her first granddaughter. I was looking for people to sew. I called up a friend in the neighborhood and said, hey, Kelly, there's a sew along going on. You're the only one I know who wouldn't be creeped out if I said, can I sew a dress up for you, little girl? But anyway, I have sewn plenty of their patterns, super instructions, and beautiful that they come out. So the pattern I'm talking about today is the London pattern, and it is a strappy little sundress type of dress, and just the interesting details of the yoke and the front and the back and how that looks. I'm really looking forward to sewing this up. So I have a few fabric choices here. This is a cotton fabric, but it's not too stiff, so I think it would work really well. And this, I have to confess, I bought this probably 5 years ago, just anticipating that maybe one day I would have a little girl to sew it up for. So this is a fabric that I just love. I think I love the whimsy of it and the color. Let me see if you can see that. So that's one choice. I have 1 1/3 yards. So I have to double check to see if I have enough. I think I should. That would be great for summer, wouldn't it? I know I'm gonna want several of these sundresses, the London dress. So I have some seersucker. I have some lime green. That's kind of fun. Lime green striped with white. And then I love this color blue. I am so drawn to it. So I've got this micro track and I have plenty of this. I think I bought this intending to make something for myself, but there's plenty here. And I'd love to make the girls some matching dresses. So those are some options for fabric for the London dress by Violet Field Threads. The great thing about Sew Frugal 22 is I really did search and look for free patterns, and I was looking for a variety. And I found a new pattern company, new to me pattern company, and I'm going to be sewing something that I've never sewn before. So the pattern company is Pollywoggle, and who doesn't love a name like Pollywoggle? It's a children's pattern for a rash guard. Let me show you the fabrics I have. I have 3 fabrics. I purchased this swim fabric, all of this, from A&E Fabrics in Pensacola. They're really high quality swim fabric, and I have plenty here to make the Pollywoggle Fathom 5 rash guard top. It goes from size 2 to 12. So it'll be perfect for my grandsons and eventually for my granddaughter. I think the boys in particular would like this green fish, or they might like the blue and white. And for my granddaughter, I picked this fabric up at A&E during a sale, and it just spoke to me. It is so girly. I thought this would make a fantastic bathing suit for the baby. And I have plenty of it. When I bought it, I was thinking of making her a little separate, plus a little top to wear over it. So I've got plenty of this to make her a rash guard and a bathing suit. I may have enough of this to make my niece, who is 8, a rash guard. So lots and lots of possibilities here. On the website, it says the Pollywoggle Fathom 5 is available as a print at home, a projector file, and an A0. Now when I downloaded it, and it's free to download once you sign up to the newsletter, and I received the print at home and the projector, there aren't that many pages, so I'm just going to print them on my printer. But I just thought I'd let you know that, especially if you're looking for projector files, Pollywoggle has them. Now last but certainly not least is Brindle and Twig. I went there looking at their free patterns, and I saw so many other patterns that I was definitely interested in sewing up. I will probably be online purchasing some of those once we get settled. They had just the cutest baby and children's clothing. So the free pattern that I picked out is the Raglan hoodie, and it comes in 2 size bands. There's a newborn to size 5-6, and then there's a 6 to 12. And the hoodie is beautiful, high reviews, and let me show you what I'm thinking of using. It has been Hudson Pant Factory sewing over here. I've almost finished sewing up 3 mini Hudsons and 1 pair for my husband. And the 2 of the mini Hudsons I sewed up in this star fabric. I made myself a Jara sweater out of this fabric. It is very soft. It's a mix. It's cotton, rayon, poly mix, French terry. So I thought this would be a great fabric to use, because if I made a hoodie for the boys who have pants in this fabric that have a whole set. So here's another option. My 6-year-old might think it's a little juvenile, but the 4 and 2-year-old might think it's just the ticket. This I got from So English at a pretty deep discount. I want to say it was just a couple dollars a yard during one of the sales, and then I had a percentage off. Very wide. I know I could get a couple hoodies out of this, and I think it's really cute. When I bought it, I thought if the kids look at it and say that they're not as interested in it, it would be great for a toile. Or I was thinking they might make super cute pajamas, do a pair of Hudsons for Charlie out of these. So that's what I have for you. I have 4 women's patterns and 4 children's patterns that are free and fantastic. I love all of these. So it's not a matter of which one will I sew up, it's which ones will I sew up during March in time to enter the challenge, because I want to make all of them, and I have fabric that would work really well with all of them. If you want to give us a little sneaky peek of what you're working on and you just can't wait till the 31st, then there's a separate hashtag you can use on Instagram, and that would be hashtag SewFrugal22 WIP, and WIP or WIP stands for work in progress. I'm going to link in the end cards a couple more of these Sew Frugal challenge discussions, and I am really excited to see what you are going to make. If you have some patterns that you're thinking about or you think that the rest of us would like to know, hit us up in the comments below. Until next time, I hope you have a joyful week and that you find the good in all things, especially sewing.